video is brought to you by Against the Flow of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi is a book about Jake Fayard, a Marine veteran who is unhappy with the political machine running the state of Mississippi. He decides to fight the corruption from the inside. Jake will face more challenges than he ever has and will stand up for what he thinks is right. His notoriously hot temper will push him to the edge of murder, along with his friend and brother Kobe Barhanovich. Together, they will fight the system and give the power back to the citizens of Mississippi. Against the Flow of Mississippi was written by Anthony Oksenholt and was published by Oksenholt Biloxi Publishing, LLC. A link to the book will be placed in the description below. Alright, y'all. Anthony Oksenholt, XS228. I guess I'm going to have to pay attention again to the Mississippi Department of Corrections. Many of y'all know I'm a former correctional officer myself. I work for the state of Florida. I work for Stone County, Mississippi. And I also briefly worked for the state of Ohio. Speaking of Ohio, I need to go up there and go file my lawsuit against them. But that's neither here nor there. This is dealing with Mississippi. And this, by the way, Burl Kane, you son of a bitch, this is right at your feet. Mississippi Department of Corruption reported this, and I happened to see it. This was posted 5 hours ago. It says, deadly weapon found inside CMCF. CMCF is Central Mississippi Correctional Facility. It's up there in Rankin County, just outside Jackson. It has been confirmed on June 4, 2025, a firearm and live ammunition were discovered inside Quickbed, a building at Central Mississippi Correctional Facility. This isn't just a security breach, it is a catastrophic collapse of control of leadership. Incarcerated individuals, correctional officers, and other staff were all placed in immediate danger of serious injury or death. You damn right. Yet the public has received no official statement, no answers, no accountability. And I'm reading this verbatim, by the way. How did a gun make it past multiple layers of security? Well, there's actually not multiple layers. Well, there is, but I'll get into that. Who brought it in? Who enabled it? Whether through action or willful neglect? What immediate steps are being taken to ensure this never happens again? Who is being held accountable, not just internally, but criminally? I agree with that. Will those responsible for introducing and aiding in the introduction of this weapon face charges? Probably not. This goes far beyond negligence. This is a potentially life-threatening failure. We will not stay silent. Mississippi Department of Corrections, the world is watching. Okay. Let's break this down for a minute. Multiple layers. When you go to a facility, and I know from SMCI, and I have actually been on the compound of CMCF one time. It was about 15 years ago. I went to go apply for a job as a CO. Did not get hired because at the time there were more applicants than there were job openings, and it was. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I kind of think I was of the wrong demographic to get that job. Just my opinion. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. But that's neither here nor there. When you go on the grounds of SMCI, CMCF, or Parchment, I could speak for all three. You pull up to a gate. There's a gate, but there ain't no fence. Actually, I think CMCF may have a fence. I can't remember. It's been so long. But you pull up, you got a vehicle gate. When you pull in there, They're going to ask you if you got any weapons. If you're an officer and you're transporting inmates, obviously you're going to be armed. You're going to secure your weapon. They will lock it in a lockbox. They will give you a key, and you will leave. You will get your weapon when you come out. To enter the facility, going through the front door, you have to get wanded, and you got to sit on this EMF chair that, you know, it picks up on metal and EMF emitting devices like cell phones and things like that, and then you go into the facility. If you are an officer, they don't really check. And this is, and I know this is at SMCI, they don't really check. They just take your weapon, and they assume that's the only weapon you have on you. But let's assume I'm a dirty cop. Let's assume I'm a dirty CO. And I bring a drop gun on me. And I walk in there, and I go, say I'm taking somebody to medical or whatever. And again, this is at SMCI because I've actually transported inmates there. I'm going to walk into the hospital area. Well, guess what? I also may walk into certain housing units. There's two areas at SMCI, Area 1, Area 2. I've actually been back there without anybody saying anything to me, picking up an inmate. It's nothing to do a quick hand-to-hand with a drop gun and have an inmate packing in his undershorts. Let's face it, they make some small guns. I don't know what kind of weapon this was, but, you know, this is a way that it could get into the facility. Now, let's talk about the way we did it in Florida. Again, I will maintain that Florida has the best correctional facility. Florida has the best training that I've seen. Florida's also got more money for training. You're not going to accidentally bring it. Well, one guy I know accidentally brought a gun into the facility, and he didn't make it past the search room, and they locked his ass in there, locked down the compound, and held him there until the OIG came in there, relieved him of his gun, and, you know, figured out what was going on. It was a pure accident. The guy, I guess when he packed his lunch, he threw his gun in his lunch bag. He didn't try to hide it. It wasn't malicious. And I know the guy, so I can tell you that, you know, there was no fuckery going on. But it got him in a lot of trouble, just that accidental. Now, hell, I've accidentally brought my cell phone on the compound one time in Florida. I got written up and a pretty harsh ass chewing for it. And they knew it was an accident with me. But they had to take disciplinary action, and I took it. I accepted it. I'm like, well, you know what? Yeah, I should have checked. I'm sorry, I was tired. I worked a 16-hour shift on my off day yesterday. I come in here, I was dragging my ass, I was tired. I took everything, I took it out of my pocket. I didn't think to take it out of my pocket at my car. And they're like, yeah, well, we had to do what we had to do. They had to verify that it was actually my phone. I wasn't bringing it in there. And of course, I had a picture of my daughter as my cover of my phone, so they knew it was mine. But they still had to take disciplinary action because you have to enforce the rules. I have no problem with that. I'm cool with it. I sat down with Warden Kaloje at Century CI and took my lick and, apologized for me being stupid and, took my write-up, and that was the end of it. Well, actually, he didn't write me up. He gave me an SCM, which is Supervisor Counseling Memorandum. Basically a warning ticket, if you will. But it still went on my record. Anyway, that being said, that was not a firearm in a cell block, in a housing unit. This is how people get killed. Smart inmates will leave it alone. Smart inmates won't touch it. Stupid inmates, ooh, I got me a gun. Where's that CO that pissed me off? Hey man, hey, come here for a minute, CO. Bang. Gee. You get people getting stabbed up and fucked up in Mississippi prisons all the time without a firearm. Now we're introducing a firearm with live ammunition. I don't know how much ammunition. I don't know if it was a full magazine. Maybe it was a full magazine. Maybe it was multiple magazines. How many people are you trying to kill? Everybody on shift should be fired for that. Whoever brought that gun in should definitely be charged. Whoever let that gun in should be charged. Burl Cain should be charged because the stupid motherfucker ain't putting in policies that will actually save fucking lives. You know why I don't work for MDOC? I guarantee you, as shorthanded as MDOC is, even as much shit as I've talked about them on social media, I could still get a job and probably walk in as a fucking lieutenant. Wouldn't fucking want to, but I probably could. Do you know why I won't do that? Because I know I'll wind up in the parking lot beating somebody's ass. Straight up. And I'm not talking about an inmate. And I'm more than 99.9% sure the first ass I would beat in there would be an officer. A dirty one. Because they don't vet them. That's why I don't work for MDOC. I was told by John Moran, who's now the assistant warden at Stone County, me and him been friends for a long time. He told me back in 2021 when I was thinking about going to SMCI and getting a job, he told me, he's like, Anthony, don't fucking do it. You will wind up beating the CO's ass in the parking lot for being dirty, because I know you don't play that shit. That's what he told me, and he's right. He is right. I really want to cover more on MDOC than I have been. I used to cover a lot of it. I think I need to start doing it again because this is getting fucking ridiculous. Burl Cain has single-handedly put more lives at risk than can really be enumerated. I don't know why he's the commissioner of the Mississippi Department of Corrections anyway, when the son of a bitch narrowly, by the grace of God and the governor of Louisiana and the attorney general over there, they just let him walk away. He narrowly escaped felony charges for corruption by the hair of his ass. I thought he was an alright guy until I talked to somebody who actually worked over there. And then I briefly went to Louisiana. Don't get me started. I did not stay very long because corruption and hug-a-thugs. I don't do well with either one. My mind of prison ought to be ran a certain way, and it was not. But who am I? I'm just some lowly CO. Nobody asked for my opinion. But anyway, yeah. Go mention Burl Cain to somebody who's been in Louisiana for any length of time. Worked for the Louisiana Department of Corrections. You mention Burl Cain, they'll give you a whole earful whether you want it or not. Y'all think about it. Access 228, your host Anthony Oksenholt. I'm going to do more on MDOC because this is an issue that's affecting everybody.